Are looking for virality. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think we're looking at Caitlin Clark's ad being one of the more viral things we've seen in a long time. Like if you look at the Instagram post on Nike, as far as I'm aware, the Instagram post has like 30 million views.
Caitlin Clark's new Nike commercial has created a massive shockwave across social media, and the reaction around the basketball world, especially inside the WNBA, is intense. The ad didn't just perform well, it exploded in a way that most athletes never experience in their entire careers. In only 2 days, the Instagram post on Nike's official page passed 30 million views, and that number keeps climbing fast. By the time you read this, it may already be closer to 40 or even 50 million views across platforms. That kind of momentum isn't normal advertising success. It's a full-blown viral moment. To understand why this matters, you have to recognize what kind of company Nike is. They work with some of the biggest stars in the world across every major sport. They release campaigns constantly, and most of those posts still don't come close to numbers like these. Caitlin's ad instantly jumped into the same conversation as championship celebrations, Olympic highlights, and global soccer moments. That puts her in an entirely different tier of cultural relevance, not just inside women's basketball, but across sports as a whole. For players inside the WNBA, watching this unfold has to feel overwhelming. Many of them have spent years building their brands, posting on social media, connecting with fans, and working to grow their visibility. And yet, one commercial featuring Caitlin Clark comes out and immediately reaches more people in 2 days than most players reach in an entire season. Whether they admit it publicly or not, it's impossible not to compare. It makes some athletes question where they stand in the bigger picture and whether they can ever reach that level of attention. Part of what makes this viral moment so striking is how quickly it happened. The ad wasn't out for weeks or months before gaining traction. It exploded instantly. And when you include reposts, reaction videos, media coverage, and different social platforms, the total reach could easily be 50 million views or more. That's the kind of audience that major movie trailers or international sporting events usually receive. Seeing that level of interest directed toward a women's basketball player sends a loud, unavoidable message about who truly moves the needle in today's sports landscape. Nike's strategy also makes the situation clearer. The company invests in many athletes, but the scale of promotion behind this campaign is different. They are treating Caitlin Clark like a once-in-a-generation figure, not just another endorsement partner. The production quality, the storytelling, and the timing all communicate the same idea. Nike believes she is the future of the sport in a global sense, not just within the league. That's powerful, and also uncomfortable for some of her competitors. For years, critics claimed that Caitlin only received attention because of hype, media favoritism, or controversy. They said the spotlight on her was exaggerated and didn't reflect true basketball impact. But the numbers tell a very different story. Whenever she plays, television ratings rise. When she sits out due to injury, viewership clearly drops. Ticket sales surge when she's on the schedule. Road games sell out. Merchandise sales skyrocket. There is a direct, measurable connection between Caitlin Clark and real-world engagement, something that many other players simply don't have, even when they get lots of social media support online. That creates another harsh truth. Some WNBA players have loyal fan communities that praise them online, defend them in comments, and constantly post about them. But when it comes time to watch live games, fill arenas, or support broadcasts, that digital noise doesn't always translate into real attendance or ratings. Caitlin's audience is different. Her followers don't just talk, they show up, they watch, they buy tickets, and they support the product. That level of authentic investment is what leagues, brands, and sponsors value most. The Nike commercial highlights that reality in the most public way possible. Not only is the ad massively popular, but it's outperforming major campaigns featuring entire groups of elite athletes. Nike's earlier Winning Isn't For Everyone campaign, which included multiple stars, pulled in around 15 million views. Caitlin's shoe announcement more than doubled that in less time, and that contrast makes the difference visible to everyone watching, including other players. For those players, the emotional impact is heavy. They're competing in the same league, working just as hard, and trying to grow the sport. Yet the gap between their popularity and Caitlin's keeps widening. It isn't just about ego, It affects future endorsements, sponsorship deals, contract leverage, and long-term earning potential. Someone who consistently generates this level of attention will naturally receive more investment and opportunity, and it's hard not to feel frustrated or overlooked if you're standing on the other side of that divide. Nike's commitment also signals something important about where they believe the future market is headed. The brand has had financial struggles and stronger competition in recent years, so every major move they make right now is strategic. By pushing Caitlin Clark's campaign this aggressively, they're making it clear that they see her as a global figure capable of elevating not just the women's game, but their entire brand identity. And it doesn't stop with the commercial. The buzz surrounding this launch is already shaping expectations for her signature shoe release scheduled for spring 2026. With this much excitement in advance, the bar is incredibly high. If the shoe sells moderately well, it will still be viewed as underperforming because the hype is already at historic levels. But if it exceeds expectations, and early signs suggest it might, then we could see one of the biggest and most successful product launches in women's sports history. That has major economic implications for the WNBA. During her rookie season, Caitlin Clark reportedly accounted for an enormous portion of the league's total economic impact, even after missing significant time due to injury. To have a single player drive such a large share of financial activity is almost unheard of. And now she's on track to expand that influence even further. The income gap between Caitlin and the rest of the league is likely to widen dramatically, and that naturally introduces tension into conversations around fairness, growth, and compensation. Meanwhile, Caitlin's brand is expanding far beyond the United States. She has already expressed interest in helping grow the game internationally, especially in massive basketball markets like China, where women's basketball is still developing but has huge potential. Nike is positioning her as a global ambassador, someone who can inspire new generations of fans and athletes. That level of worldwide recognition opens doors that most players never get access to, creating opportunities that stretch far beyond the league's usual reach. What makes all of this even more striking is that none of it feels forced. Caitlin isn't trying to overshadow the rest of the league or dominate the spotlight intentionally. She isn't constantly chasing viral moments or manufacturing drama. She's simply playing basketball, competing, and accepting endorsement opportunities, and the response grows naturally from there. The public, sponsors, and broadcasters are responding to what they see as authentic talent, excitement, and appeal. That reality is difficult for some of her rivals to accept, because it exposes a harsh difference between how the market sees them and how they see themselves. Many feel they've earned just as much recognition, but the numbers show otherwise. And that gap between perception and reality is where a lot of the frustration comes from. The message behind the Nike ad also resonates deeply. The From Anywhere theme isn't only about hitting deep shots or proving athletic range. It speaks to a bigger dream. The idea that greatness can come from unexpected places. Someone can grow up far from the traditional basketball spotlight, work hard, stay grounded, and still reach the highest levels of success. That emotional message connects with young athletes, families, and everyday people in a personal way, which is another reason the commercial spreads so easily and feels meaningful instead of manufactured. Looking at the numbers compared to other Nike posts confirms what everyone is already feeling. This isn't just another good-performing ad. It's an outlier that stands beside some of the biggest cultural sports moments of the past few years. For Caitlin Clark, it's proof that she has moved beyond being just a star athlete. She has become a mainstream figure whose influence stretches across audiences who don't even normally follow basketball. And the timing makes everything even more powerful. By the time the shoe officially launches and the next WNBA season builds momentum, interest will be at an all-time high. Other players will be trying to promote their own brands, sign deals, and attract attention. But almost every conversation in that space will orbit around Caitlin. That makes it harder for them to break through, and some are already feeling that pressure. In the end, the viral success of Caitlin Clark's Nike commercial isn't just about views or popularity. It reflects a deeper reality about who truly drives economic growth, cultural visibility, and audience engagement in women's basketball today. The gap between her and everyone else isn't shrinking. It's expanding in real time, and the entire sports world is watching it happen.